I'm a fallen angel from sky. Up above, I'm that man that think is a thug. I'm your drug and your plug. Wings tucked, I seen pain, seen blessings, seen luck. Ran over by train, that's about 8 trucks. Smitty really gritty, but never I'm no slut to the money and fame. You can keep your chain, we free men over here. And in case you didn't know, my favorite color is here. Yes, I'm here, not fresh to death, no stress, no worries. All burdens, I done buried closed coffin. I'm the beauty of the beast, and a man I found often. I'm the cure to infection. My reflection is broken down in sections. Retired chef outside, still cooking. I be rocking with best. Thank you, good looking. Y'all Bammers be lunching on mothers. If you not from my section, then you cool, but not a brother. Lone Star, the astronaut from above. You looking for a fix? I'm your brand new blood. Shotgun slug, flood of the love spreads. Truck by train, made it out by thread. Should've be dead, but rose from darkness and walking with an oath. I'm not the GOAT, I'm shepherd. Blending into the world tree, hiding a leaper. Mr. 7, I'm ghost in flesh.
Welcome to the lighthouse. Storm all around. I'm standing right now, sent from the cloud. They talking mine now, but I'm just fighting for my blood and my life. Yeah. Sent from the heaven, king on 7, trials on trials, still count blessings. Wait on the revelating, heart in heaven. I stay patient, I'm beyond the angels. I am mad, I bleed, I'm tangled. Sword on my back, ash on the strap. Go with the weight of the word in my lap. Touching my king, we doubling back. Pray with my palm, but I'm ready for that. Long Star Coney King, that greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my ego, you can keep your Grammy. Build this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is greatness, DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Long Star Coney King, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the Lighthouse Foundation. Still waiting on revelation. Till then I'm in rotation. Heard of my chases, but I'm chasing. Turn my scars into statements. I don't need your stage or camera. I need these papers, hand and hammers. Still in my spine, still in my hands. Guarding my blood, I'm holding this land. They can test, they can try, they can hate me. I've been forging a fire that will make me PG raised. Lone Star in my vein. DMV on the map, say the name. Lone Star Cooney Kings, that's greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my acres, you can keep your Grammy. Build this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is greatness, DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Don't talk Cooney King, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the Lighthouse Foundation.
Hold on, we on mute. Much respect, respect. Welcome back to another episode of Smitty's Corner, aka Lighthouse _301. I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. Thank you for watching. So yes, we got a few things we want to talk about. One, I have, came across some information on the Pooh Shiesty update. It's not what we think, or at least that's what they're saying. But I also want to talk about something again. We're trying to elevate the conversations here. And I want to make sure that we can go ahead and make sure that we get proper information. I want to make sure that we hear from people. So I want to make this disclaimer first. I don't agree with everything being said. That is not why I'm showing this video. I don't know why, but we have this mentality where we believe that just because you actually listen to something, that means you have to agree with it. No, it's called wanting to learn. I just want to learn, Nancy, if you would be so kind. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. So before we get started, how's your day? How's your headspace? And how has this day been treating you so far? Just in case nobody else asked you. Respect. All right, now. So yeah, I want to talk about this. I've always been curious in different ideologies when it comes to this whole political life, what people think, the voting, everything, right? I'm trying to dive into it a little bit more, not too much. Anybody who knows me knows that politics isn't really my thing. That's not really my go-to, but I like to stay informed about everything in life. Well, at least as much as I can stay informed about, right? Let me go ahead and get this real quick. 1 second, so I handle interruptions. Boom, there we go. And okay. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this going, man. Shout out to the family. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. The time right now is 8:48 a.m. East Coast Standard Time. I ain't even gonna hold you. Let's go ahead and get this video rocking. Let me go ahead and pull my screen up. All right, so apparently there are a lot of folks who are mad at Nick Cannon, right? So this lady, she's going to speak about what most of our celebrities are on, which a lot of people are already hip to, but let's let her talk about it and let's go along the way and see what we got.
This past weekend, when y'all came to the realization that a lot, in fact, most Black celebrities are MAGA, and they're MAGA and they're also anti-Black. Let's dig into the MAGA part first. Most people, and this is something that we've all been having conversations about, but the conversations have been incomplete, want generational wealth. They want to be able to pass on wealth to their children. That's what.
So far, so good. This is what caught my attention.
What we've all been talking about for decades and decades and decades. That is an incomplete conversation because generational wealth is based on exploiting an exploitative tax code. And what happens is these celebrities, they get an accountant, and the accountant says to them, if you vote for Kamala, this is how much you're going to pay in taxes. If you vote for Felon 47, this is how much you're going to pay in taxes, right? And that difference is telling you everything you need to know about who that person is.
All right, so apparently from the Felon 47 part, so apparently she's totally against Trump, which everybody's entitled to how they see this, right? Look. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what president on either side has really made a change that we can see a real benefit in. And I mean like all over, like the American people are satisfied with this president. You know what I'm told? That can't happen. But yet we gangbang so hard. Just as much as there's stuff that you can say on the red side, there's plenty of shit you can say on the blue side. I don't see it being any better if Kamala was to have won. I don't. I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, let's keep rocking out because you're not going to tell me she would have did a better job than Obama.
And you all need to accept that a lot of Black people, a lot of women, a lot of Black immigrants, a lot of Latinos, a lot of them are Republican because they want that margin. They want that money in that margin, and they don't care. They don't care about what happens to anybody that is not in their immediate family.
That type of soft bed to lie on, we make those types of we launder things intellectually for powerful white men. We do. Like, he can't be that bad. Look at him. he can't be that bad. He's one of us. He's with us. He does all of this stuff. And it's just not something that's ever done with anyone that we're trying to do it for Nick Cannon right now. Mm-hmm. We're trying to speak in love about Nick Cannon because I know that Nick Cannon is a good dude. And so I'm trying to do for him what oftentimes is not done for black men. What didn't get done for Nick Cannon a couple of years ago when he got up and got in trouble. He talks about that.
He alludes to it. He doesn't get into it.
He talks like when he got up and got in trouble. What people didn't do was go, you know what? This is a guy that might have some wrong information, might have said something that he didn't really understand the ramifications of. Let's look at the totality of him and figure out how we can get over this. No, what actually happened was all of that. What we need from you now is a complete crawfishing from all the stuff that you said, which was wrong, and an assurance that you understand how dangerous it is. A lot of people got on his ass for that. I didn't get on his ass for it at all. And the reason why I didn't is because if you care about people, that is what you should do. Mm-hmm. But people like Donald Trump never have to do that. Mm-mm. There is no accountability that goes into the things that they've done. Like Donald Trump is the greatest businessman in the entire world. So many different companies have gone bankrupt. His reputation just defies logic. He's the smartest guy that says the dumbest things. He's the best businessman that goes incredibly bankrupt.
They're mad at Nick Cannon, and I salute you, Nick Cannon. Wherever you are, Nick Cannon, I hope you have this. I stand with you, Nick Cannon, because you told nothing but the truth. Amber Rose, I stand with you because y'all told nothing but the truth. See, black people want to act like the Democratic Party is for them. They want to act like the Republican.
The other side ain't for us either. I don't get what we're missing here. Why? You know what? I guess when you're not in a gang, it's easier to see. As much as the gang be trying to say, no, we're passing out book bags and we give this to the kids and turkey drives. We still see what the gang does in the streets on a regular. We still see it. That's why a lot of us are really, I got pushed away from it. You know why I got pushed away from it? Asking questions. That's it. I was just actually curious about stuff. I got pushed away from it just from asking questions. All I wanted to do was just learn. I don't like to jump into nothing and not have full details and information about what I'm doing. All the way down to me, what I'm going to do for my day. I generally like to plan my route for my day, all the way down to which way I'm going to be driving. I don't go into life just blind. That's not smart. It's called look before you leap. Anyway, let's keep on going. So I guess he's advocating that it must be so much better on the other side. If you feel that way, stick with that if that's what's good for you. But let's keep going.
Republican Party, they want to erase the history of the Republican Party. And then when the KKK was in it, had real power in America, it was the Southern Democrats that fought against it. And Lyndon B. Johnson, who they worship, said, I will have these black people voting Democrat for 100 years. And 100 years later, the black population still 80%, 90% of the time votes Democrat. They vote Democrat no matter, even though they are the party of communism. They're the party of that pushes abortion on the black community. We have murdered 50, 60% of our children. We have been 13% of the population for a very long time.
Yeah, and the red side used to have a lot of people in the prisons overflowing because of a damn joint. A lot of the red states have the death penalty for people that maybe don't need it. Look, we can go down the list of the ups and downs, the pros and the cons to both. The fact is, no matter what you try to say, there are pros and cons on each side. All people are trying their best to do is weigh out which side is best for me. That's about it. Let's keep rocking out.
The truth is that everything Nick Cannon said about the Democratic Party is true, and that's why they're angry about it. They don't want black people to wake up and realize that everything that the Democratic Party stand for is bad for our communities.
Stephen is the freest slave in the history of cinema. He has all the powers of the master and literally is the master during the times when Calvin is off Mandingo fighting. He makes the plantation run. Everybody on that plantation knows him. Everybody on the plantation fears him. And I wanted everybody to understand that when Django shows up, that's a we've never seen before. Not only is he on a horse, he got a gun, and he speaks out. And the first thing I have to do is let all the other on the plantation know that's not something you can aspire to. So let me put him in his place as quickly as I possibly can.
What are you all's thoughts behind that thus far? Now, that's why I titled it that, because they really look at it like on the blue side of life is that the very moment that you try to think for yourself, the very moment that you try to go off and be your own person, or if you choose to change your mind, it's not met. It's not no farewell send off. It's really like a bunch of hatred. And it's like, get the F out of here so long, good riddance, Benedict Arnold, all kinds of stuff. You know, they might even call you Judas, for crying out loud. Let's keep going. So that's what they're speaking about so far, just to keep folks caught up who might be just coming in.
Have all of this material out here to tell us which side and what each side believes and what each side thinks. It is amazing to me that we allow people to talk to us as if they're making sense when they're not. And we allow them to project on us what they really are and get away with it. Here's my concern about what you see. So you saw two views. You saw those who understood what was going on and proclaimed it, and you saw those who were trying to intellectualize their foolish arguments against what we were saying. And the first sister that came on, you saw how confident she was. You saw how she tried to use statistics and ratings and all this stuff, you know, to make it sound like she was making sense. People fall for that. They literally do fall for that. So I'm grateful that you put them both.
People fall for who they like. That's what we fall for who we like. We fall for whatever narrative that it is that our ideology aligns with. That's all it is. Now, is there anything wrong with that? It could be, if it's something that's not healthy for the people, right? Let's keep on going.
Together. And the material is out there. I was looking at a video yesterday, and one of the commentators was talking about how people who want to believe something, they don't care whether it's true or not. And they'll find videos that substantiate what they want people to hear and believe, and they'll promote it. They don't care if it's true or not.
On Mother's Mo, we all know what that looks like. It don't matter if it's true or not. If they want to believe, like you ever had some people, they want to believe something about you, you actually are capable and or have proven that wasn't the case. That ain't what that was. And they still, because they wanted to believe that, they were waiting for a moment to believe that. And yes, it's very true. The only thing that they will look up is what supports that. See, me, even though I may have my ideology pushed in a certain direction, I still love to hear from the opposing thought process and view. You want to know why? Because then I don't limit myself from what it is I can learn. Let's even look at it from the perspective of if you do want to call them your op. Do you know what boxers do before a big fight? You know what they do? Watch footage of the person they're about to fight. See, look at this. You got to watch that left hand he got right there. You got to study your opponent. So even if you do look at them as your opponent, you should hear what they have to say. You never know nothing about what the opposite side has to say. That's dangerous for you. You can get caught off guard easy. Now everybody run around arms in the air, flailing and wailing about stuff, cussing out the sky. You see what I'm saying? Because you ain't take time to study. Considering that's how people look at it, I don't see it that way. And I don't know why we can't just recognize, why don't we just in some way, somehow, excuse me, the red and the blue side, I don't know, find some kind of way to have a connection, or like figure out what are the strengths over here with you guys? What are the strengths over here with these guys over here? And why don't y'all, at least for the black community, man, bring them resources together. Niggas can't even, we can make it to a cookout, but we couldn't make it to something like that. You know what I mean? Generally speaking, we're doing better. We're getting there, but we still got a lot of work to do to get a lot of this mentality shooken off of us, man. This is centuries of this shit.
And so people that are watching on so have to understand the kind of material that we're looking at. We have to do our own homework to recognize whether or not that information is actual, factual, or whether we're just watching it and passing it on because we agree with it. Passing something on because you agree with it is not doing anybody a service. If it's not true, we shouldn't be passing on, and you will be held accountable for what you pass on to somebody else. So those clips together was very...
Not today. That's out the window. Don't nobody want to hold nobody accountable.
Brilliant, Brother Wise. You got to hear both sides. And if you can't tell who's stupid and who's not, then that's on you.
My thoughts are two things stuck out to me. First of all, what she said about the tax bracket was so unnecessarily generalized and incredibly wrong in a lot of different cases. So if you just say who was better for taxes for the top 1%, I can point out that since 2000, just better has been Republican across the board. She's right. But it's also for the top 25%, for the top 50%. Like, what are we saying better actually is? And as far as investments go, for someone who is in the ultra-rich category, which, by the way, most Hollywood actors are not, right? I think we look at, like, the top, like, 25 actors, and we assume they all get paid millions and millions of dollars. This is not the case. So I think the logic is very, very, very off its situation, and it's ignoring other kinds of investments, it's ignoring capital gains and everything else in between. But it was the capitulation that's expected. That gentleman was talking, he had Trump up there and he had Nick Cannon on the other side. Did you hear what he said? He said the expectation is that Nick Cannon comes out and says that he was wrong, and assurances so that they believe them. That is so impressive that if someone ever said that to me, I would go out of my way not to do that, because you're trying to tell me how you want me to behave to make you comfortable. So ignore the fact that this is my truth. Ignore the fact that this is my belief, because you as a populace say that I am wrong. You're not going to talk to me about it. You're just going to say, come bend the knee again. And we see this happen. Stephen A. Smith is known notoriously for doing this. There has to be that capitulation. And this crabs in the barrel mentality is exactly the issue that we see amongst the Black community in the United States of America, and amongst, honestly, Americans as a whole when it comes to the Democratic Party. If you step out of line, the behaviors are different. So ask yourself, you ever see somebody who leaves the Republican Party and becomes a Democrat? I know it's rare. But if you ever see it, someone comes up to you, hey, Crystal, I think about not being a Republican anymore. I'm not good with Trump. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm hoping that Kamala runs again. I'm going to vote for her. Is Crystal going to say, oh, you horrible individual, how dare you? You're hateful and you're awful. She's probably going to ask why. But the other way around, I've seen how they talk to Crystal for leaving the party. It is hateful. It is this tribal mentality, and it shows us that you identify with your party.
I was talking with my nephew the other day. He's actually into this political stuff a little bit more. He's a younger guy too, man. He's in his 20s. And I remember while we were talking, I was saying to him, I was like, man, the one thing I don't like about all of this is how I said, because this is true. You think for a second that they don't have events, venues, all kind of stuff, right? Award ceremonies and everything. And you think that when they go to these events, the Republicans sitting all the way over there, Democrats all the way over here? No. You know how many of them, like a Democrats, like a senator on the Democratic side, they got daughters and sons. They probably dating somebody who mom is a senator on the red side because they met at some event. Y'all do know that, right? They all be on the golf course together. They all be sitting down, toasting up, lunching together. But the one thing I hate about it is how they will be able to get me and you to not talk to our own cousins and friends no more. We be down here on a bottom low level of this shit, bickering and going back and forth. Here it is, they sitting up there together. But y'all really think they be beefing? They don't be beefing. These people invite each other over for dinner and everything else. What are you talking about? They got to put on a show for the people. So during the debate, they're going to liven it up and everything else just to, bring some excitement to it. We all know what American people like. We love some good old fashioned excitement in any form of fashion. Right? So my whole thing is to land it. Look at how they got you not talking to nobody anymore. But yet here it is, all of them be sitting around together. That's crazy. Let's keep going.
Or than you even identify with being an American at this point in time.
Come on. Yeah.
Because we are fellow citizens. So please don't talk to me about your faith and everything in between. I'll throw away, I'm not even Republican. I'll throw away all political everything in a heartbeat if it means that you can eat at my table and you can be fed. But I don't feel like you're willing to do the same if it means I have to come in and we can't talk about how this horrible conservative is at my table.
Last flip. Shout out to Wifey. She's the one that showcased that. She showed that to me because a lot of people that have watched the movie Django, I don't think they knew or understood that Stephen was free. Stephen was a free man. Most people didn't know that. Most people, this is probably the first time in your life that you heard like, oh, that dude was free.
He was there by will. He willed it.
Exactly. He was, and he was second in command.
That's right.
And his job was to keep these black folks on the plantation.
What's that called? The Stockholm syndrome. Do you all believe that that can be a form of that? Type your comments. Let me know. What's going on, beloved? I see you. I see you in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Lady Quantum Love. All right. Just like how it's typed right here. Go there, give her a sub. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get a good word, if you want to be enlightened, go ahead, holler at Shorty, man. She got that for you.
That's right.
And the thing that he said, he was like, here it is. You got this guy. He rolls up, he on a horse, and he has 2 guns, and he's speaking out.
Can't have that.
My job is to let the rest of these fools know that that is not something that you can aspire to. Doesn't that sound like the Boulay crowd? Doesn't that sound like Roland Martin, Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross?
You can't make it on your own.
Don Lemon, Bakari Sellers.
But now watch. See, this is where my mind goes because I'm not in the game. Just as much as they can say that for the blue side, on the red side, what do they say all the time? Pick yourself up by your bootstraps, aka it don't matter how many centuries of something you're far back behind on, no matter how many laws are put into place to keep you and prevent you from being able to acquire certain levels in life, right? Or to at least make it as tough as possible. We're gonna tie ankle weights around your leg. Then when we blow that whistle, then when we blow that gun for the race and the gates open, all right, go ahead and go. Nobody else got weights on their legs but us. And they want to keep saying, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. It's too much for us to have to address just to do that. It ain't as easy as you think. Not when you're talking about centuries of mind manipulation. Come on, man. So this is what I mean by when you're not in the portrait. Like, when you're standing out, you can see the picture when you're not in the frame. There we go. That's when you see the portrait, when you're not standing in the frame. I'm not standing in the frame, so I'm able to see the whole thing, corners of the frame and everything. Let's go.
Doesn't it sound like, hey, we can't allow these people to believe that they are free and that they can operate in their own autonomy? We can't allow it. So anytime somebody that is supposed to be a part of that steps out of line, it's their job to whip your behind back on that plantation.
Yep, 100%.
Because you can see it happening. This is what was happening on the plantations 207 odd years ago. And you get black folks out there talking about, man, we worked for free for 200 years, not understanding that you still got people operating in the same manner as Stephen. You've been free for a long time. You just didn't know it.
They didn't want you to know it.
Well, I just want to say
briefly. Oh yeah, do that. We got it's a nice little convo right here. Nice little way to start your day. I'm right here with you. Let me go back to the last part you said right here, real quick. Hold on.
Same manner as Stephen. You've been free for a long time. You just didn't know it.
They didn't want you to know it.
Well, I just want to say.
Now, that's what I was going to say. That mentality right there, you've been free for so long, you just haven't known it. I honestly have been wondering now, if we go back to the blue side, one thing I have not agreed with. I got into one of those political arguments with a family member one time. Hated it. God damn, man. That's when I'm just so turned off from this shit. We were in this beautiful home, right? We were over my aunt's place. Most of the people in our family. What's going on, sugars? I see you now. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Genesis 1, just like how it's typed right there. Make sure you show her some love. You want late night talk? Get a little frisky? That's your person right there. Make sure you give her a sub. We all we got. Now, I remember I got into this little argument, and we were in this beautiful home. It's the holidays. And I'm sitting up here because my cousin kept, I don't know, somehow or another we got on the Trump conversation. This was some years ago. And he was, for the life of me, trying to convince me I'm oppressed. And I kept looking around at all this beautiful furniture. Man, the house smelled amazing with the food. I had drinks lined up on the bar. I'm not on papers no more. My records being expunged. I'm a free man. And he kept trying to tell me I'm still locked up here. I said it one time in one of my poems. I said, you can lock up my body, but my mind is still free. And if you don't have my thoughts, then you don't have me. You can lock up my body, but my mind is still free. And if you don't have my thoughts, then you don't have me. He was trying his best to convince me I'm downtrodden and we could never have anything. This is why we can't be racist, because we don't have power. I have been wondering about that. And then, because see, the thing is this, again, just like how, for example, with my accident, and I've spoke about it before, when the doctors was telling me, you know, the number one thing that's helping you heal. I said, what, the exercise? He says, no. He says, your mind, your mentality, your resilience, that's what's keeping you going. More than anything else, mind over matter. If it's one thing that they damn sure still to this day got us by the balls at, is got us by our mind. That's the part I don't like, that part right there. You smell? I mean, let me see what we got. The mind is the most powerful tool. Yeah, of course it is. The mind is the most powerful tool and muscle. And muscle out of any bicep, pectoral, calf, the mind, the brain. That's the strongest. Without that, none of those muscles function. You're called a vegetable. I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 9:13 a.m. East Coast Standard Time, and I thank you all for tuning in. Let's get back to it. Nancy, if you would be so kind.
Hey, R.I.P. to my father, who always said they took the shackles off your feet and put them on your mind. And that's exactly what we're seeing happening here. Since we are talking about the Black community, great, let's go ahead. I would like to know why nobody had any counsel for Nick Cannon while he was father. Or different households where he could not do and create family and could not appropriately act as a father. And this is no meanness to Nick Cannon.
But wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so hold on, y'all. But let me ask you this. Considering he has the money to take care of the kids, is it the same as a guy who's just having kids and he cannot afford to take care of them? Do you give Nick Cannon a pass? Type it in there, let me know. Do you give him a pass for that reason? All right. Y'all give me a little bit. I'm going to drop the link in a second.
Because I actually appreciate him, because even in all of his wrong, he is somebody who has been publicly seeking and looking. Mm-hmm. He has been for years in conversation, trying to get wisdom and trying to get information. And like I said, the Black community had nothing to offer him and to his children, to his spawn, to explain to him why it would be important to be in a household so that you could teach your children how to. I
don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm wondering. Is that what's most important? Now, look. First of all, let's think about this. With his career and traveling and everything else, he doesn't even have a lifestyle to where he is capable of. I mean, maybe so if he takes his family with him everywhere he goes. If it's that dynamic. I would say outside of that dynamic, most of these actors, man, they be gone. They on the road like these athletes. Man, they be on the road, wives, back at home with the kids, watching them on TV, doing FaceTime chats and stuff. Can't wait for the season to be over so they can spend time again. But even then, they're still busy. They got a lot of interviews and training camp and everything else. Practice camp. Practice camp, they still got to do. You got to do practice camp during off season, especially in football, all of that, right? So how do you see it? Let's go.
Confront the environment with the unique genetic code that you have given them. They had no information for him for that. Yet he has come out and said something about the Democrats, and they have an entire plan ready to go for what they're going to need, how they're going to approach him, what they need him to do in response to that approach. The script is out. Everybody is on track. But what does it say? They are ready. They don't have any question. They know what they're going to do if somebody's leaving the plantation. Now, if you fathering people all over the plantation, they have no clue what to tell you. But what this is showing us is what's really happening in the Black community. Not only Nick Cannon, we saw it with Chili. We saw it also this week with Salt from Salt and Pepper. And I am...
And real quick, I do appreciate y'all holding it down with me for this Saturday morning. I kind of figured, you know, if the streets are a little empty, let me go ahead and fire something up for the people so we can hang out for a bit. Y'all can get y'all day going, maybe until somebody else, you know, a bigger content creator gets on. So let me get my time in.
Happy to see this. The Black community is going through a transition. That transition is being led by Black men. Thank you, Black men, for leading us out and leading us off the plantation. We are so happy to see you. And I personally am one running behind you.
Are we really off the plantation? We may be off the grounds, but do we still wake up to that same schedule? And I'm not talking about going to your job. I'm talking about just that thought process. When you wake up in the morning, how you think throughout your day. No bull. Like, are we off the plantation? Like, honestly, from what I see, we still don't like to see a nigga have nothing if we don't have it. I still hear a lot of talk about gatekeeping. There are a lot of strides that we made. So I'm not one of those that like to sit up here and talk about my people like we still back in the 1970s. There are a lot of strides we've made. My whole thing is I want to know, when are we going to get to the point where we're seeing the strides? You see what I'm saying? Like, you actually are really throughout your day-to-day are seeing a difference in how we just first and foremost communicate with one another. First and foremost, like just that on a basic level. Just, hey man, what's good? What you mean what's good? Who you? I don't know you, cuz. Like, when we can get past all of that dumb bullshit. When we can get past, you know, not wanting to assist one another, because the fact is we need each other. I don't care what nobody say. You can be self-sufficient. It's one thing to be self-sufficient, but it's a whole nother thing to think you don't need nobody. Yes, your ass do. I do too. We all do. I need you. You need me. We need each other, damn it. And that's the mentality we need to adopt again. We need to re-adopt it. We need to go get it out the lost and found. Let's keep on rocking out.
You can't wait to follow you to freedom. Let's go. Show me the way. Do we got to cross the water? Are we following the moon? How do we do it? Let's go. And I am appreciating that, because the Democrat Party has flat out told Black men and men in general, white men as well, that they have no use for masculinity. They have no use for manhood. They have no use for anybody who wants to be a father in a child's life. They have no use for anybody who wants to lead or support a woman. They have no use for anybody who has standards and demands for a community. They have no use for anything you have to do. And when you go, let me tell you who's angry. All these people planning to entrap you and ensnare you back on the plantation. I just want to identify for you.
You know the best way to crush a man? I don't know if anybody's hip to this. You know the number one way you crush a man, like you crush everything about him? Make everything that man wants to do like it's nothing. That's it. No bull. Because honestly, I'm talking about men, not boys, not males, men. Men want to do things. They want to provide. It makes us feel good. It gives us a sense of purpose. That's why I'm always saying purpose-driven man. God dang it, I need to change my, I ain't never changed my banner. Why I ain't say nothing? I got to help me keep up with that. I ain't even see that, my bad. Strip that man of everything that he always wanted to do. I promise you, That's what crushes that man. When you make it seem like all of his efforts are for nothing. That's how you crush him. Let's keep going.
Who they are. They are Black women and they are gays, because that is who's going to be left when you go. But I want everybody in the chat to know I'm going with the men. So I'll see y'all. Thank you. I'm running behind y'all.
Listen, I'm so tired of these people coming on the Lord's internet.
Yes.
And thinking they about to bully anybody back into any plantation. And that's literally what they were trying to do. I'm telling you, these people were big mad on the Lord's internet because they finally realized that they have been supporting their oppressor. You should have seen the think pieces that were flying all over X, and they are just upset. And they're like, y'all don't know true history. Okay, he told part, but he didn't tell all. And everything they were saying was absolutely wrong. And they were upset because now, and I'm talking about the Boule crowd, you know, the leaders, the voices that are supposed to be leading. They were trying to put together all kinds of segments and explanations, and it's not true. And okay,
damage control.
Okay, they were part of it, but it's not that. It was crazy watching them go through this because they know that they were literally supporting their oppressor. And thank you for wifey showing that. They realized that they were secret. They realized they realized that everybody's going to see who they are. And so they were trying to clean it up real quick. It was like clean up an aisle 10 immediately. They can't just blow a gasket. We are concerned.
Yes.
I have never seen so many Black people on the internet trying to.
What's that? Are you talking in the chat? I'm not sure. I don't know what that is.
Trying to explain history.
Damage control.
This, and they all wrong. Every one of them are wrong. All of them are wrong. I was like, what are y'all doing? And they love to use their special words, you know, nuance and disenfranchisement and you know, marginalized. They pulled out all their words, you know, their buzzwords, their trigger words. Listen, I hope y'all know people are not dumb. People are over y'all foolishness because whatever y'all say makes 0 sense when people actually stop giving away their ability to think critically. And they start thinking critically for themselves. Yes, and regardless of what y'all do in your little boule crowd,
music is one of the best ways to express your feelings.
Of course it is, but we're not going to listen to that right now. Let's get back to it. And then I got another video for
always win.
Some updated. I actually like what this guy was saying, and I think it's interesting. So let's get some updated information. Let's go.
And the Lord is bigger than all of y'all. And the thing that what y'all missing is the Lord is opening up a lot of eyes. That lady's yelling about tax brackets and all that other stuff in the beginning. Ma'am, it's not about tax brackets. People are just tired of supporting everything that is antithetical to Christ, or they're searching for real truth.
I'm going to say this. If it's one thing that I damn sure have not been agreeing with on that blue side is the attack on children in very inappropriate ways. I don't appreciate the attack on women, allowing men to go into you all's restrooms. I don't like that. I have a mother and sisters. I have aunts and cousins, women cousins. Like, come on now. I don't want somebody going in the room with my lady like that. You got to come out and be like, hey, what is this? I don't like that. That's uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable, and I'm not even the one that has to go into the bathroom. I don't like that shit. See, this is what, so it's like on both sides, man. On both sides, man. It's a lot of stuff. I'm like, nah, man, y'all can keep that. Y'all can keep that bullshit.
They're searching for truth, and they're finding truth no matter how you try to hide it. Roly Poly Martin got up there trying to say, well, no. Yeah, it was the Southern Democrats, but listen, it was just them. But you know, LBJ actually loved us. Yes, the same LBJ that says I'm going to have these ends with the hard R's, voting for a Democratic Party the next 200 years. That same LBJ, the same one who didn't want to do anything. That same LBJ. Listen, ain't nobody sitting on there listening.
A lot of times, that's all you got. A lot of times that's all you got is, like, you know, your family and your small circle. That's why it's always good to have your tribe, your village. That's why it's always good to have that. You smell me now? So good job for you, Riaz, you and your brother. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, you know what makes a balanced man? The one who learns from the one who has no future, the one who protects the one who carries man, and the one who guides the one who has no past. Learn from your elders, protect the women, guide the children. That's what makes you a balanced, stable man. Let's keep going.
To y'all, because all of y'all are, y'all like to tout, especially Black women, which is absolutely not true. Like to tout that they're the most educated. No, y'all are the most indoctrinated.
Indoctrinated.
Y'all are the most indoctrinated. And the thing is,
they don't.
Regardless of what y'all want to talk about education, my wisdom from God will always trump, and I'll use that word trump, your education.
Pun intended.
Not only are they, they get out here, which is a lie, the most educated, that's a lie. Most indoctrinated, least informed. I'll give you those two.
Highly educated and without much knowledge.
The only thing that kind of irritates me about that is, one, our sisters have made a lot of strides. A lot. They are actually very well educated. My mother's one of them. My mother was the one in corporate America making over 100K a year, not my father. Not my dad. My mom was. My mom made more than my dad, like I always said. But you'll never know that if you came into the household. You'll never know that. They just didn't operate. She didn't operate like she made more. Let's really take time and think about it, right? Listen to what he says again.
Not only are they, they get out here, which is a lie, the most educated, that's a lie. Most indoctrinated, least informed. I'll give you those two.
The least informed part. I'm not going to say least informed, but there is a lot of misinformation. So when usually that comparison is being made, it's Black women to Black men. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, who has the most degrees are Asians in America. And I think after that is white women. I think my sisters is in third or fourth place. I think it's white women, white men, then sisters. Because you got to think even down to us being a minority. 14, 15%, something like that. That by itself makes a factor. That's all. Let's keep rocking out. So yeah, when it comes to the Black men, you definitely do. Yeah, and then I think Black men, I think we're at the bottom of that. Unless the statistics have changed. I'll check that with Nancy in a minute. All right, let's finish listening. And I'm going to ask Nancy if that's actually true.
Highly educated and without much knowledge. They're not knowledgeable. Maybe educated.
That's a good way of wording that.
You're not very knowledgeable, which is why when you talk to them, they don't know anything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter, just to roly-poly, it doesn't matter that it was the Southern Democrats, the Northern Democrats, who, by the way, possessed the money, never stopped them.
That part.
And again, I'm watching this because, again, anybody who knows me, who's seen me enough, I don't get into the politics like that. And I do like to stay updated. What's going on? How are people thinking? What's the headspace? What's the temperature out here? I still like to keep up. I don't like to be that person. People man, what rock did you crawl from under, right?
So they were in cahoots with the Southern Democrats because they funded them and they never stopped them.
For hundreds of years.
And we have some Democrats I want you to go look up James Eastland, Herman Talmadge, Robert Byrd, George Wallace. Go look them all up. Those are all Democrats that never left the Democratic Party. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Biden, ice cream eating, sleepy, auto pen Joe Biden spoke for Robert Byrd, supported George Wallace.
The eulogy.
He did the eulogy.
Did the eulogy. I want y'all to know that. So when y'all keep saying that they switch. Y'all act like they took off the jersey, took off the Democrat jersey and put on the Republican. Y'all come on. Y'all just sound sad trying to convince people that foolishness. As my brother Wise says, all y'all gotta do is go look it up. It's in the archives, in the records. Go look it up and stop being lazy. Stop outsourcing your common sense. Y'all outsource your common sense, your critical thinking, and your ability to research to everybody else. Go do some work and stop
Crystal,
being
you
lazy.
know they can't read. What are you doing?
At the funeral, at Robert Byrd's funeral, Bill Clinton, when it was his time to speak, actually said, you can't blame old Bird for being in the Klan. Hell, back in those days, you couldn't be a Democrat unless you were in the Klan. That's a quote. Bill Clinton said that at the funeral.
What do you think?
And that is stuff that I be listening to, that I be wondering as well. When it comes, like I heard, Joe Biden said some very out of this world stuff back in his younger days before he started falling asleep randomly in public places. I saw the same thing. Now, what I want to do is, so I don't know, that's just something for us to just kind of learn from. Like I said, I like to go ahead and listen to what other people have to say, how they view it, the whole nine. Now, everybody, apparently, since sometime yesterday, right? Since sometime yesterday, this just apparently, I don't know. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. It is getting interesting. This may be one celebrity follow through I think I might actually stick with. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, apparently there's some updated news when it comes to Pooh Shiesty and Gucci. I wonder what that could be. Anyway, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 9:32 a.m. and
However, breaking news.
So apparently, shout out to Seti Nash. He definitely is a hood lawyer in a sense. Let's see what he has to say about this. And let's listen to what the actual lawyer has to say about it.
Welcome back. Hey, so we've been getting dissed over here, the visionaries. I want y'all to look at two videos real quick. This one.
Let me tell you the difference between a lawyer and a non-lawyer. Non-lawyers think the truth is what they know. Hey, I know this. This is the truth. I could see it. You know what lawyers think the truth is? It's what you could prove in a court of law. When a Fed writes an affidavit saying witnesses told him this, this, and this, and so.
That's a fact. Now, I want to say this to that. That's the perfect example as to why I agree with, that I don't agree with my truth necessarily. No. Because say, for example, in the court of law, your truth don't mean it means nothing. And that's what he's talking about. People think they can go in there and say what they feel, and that's supposed to be good enough. No, don't work that way.
So the defendant is guilty of a crime. That does not make the defendant guilty of a crime. When those witnesses take the stand and give sworn testimony under oath with the defendant in the box and 12 jurors on the side, now you have evidence, you have sworn testimony. We are far from that. Look, I'm not saying this case is getting beat, this case is getting won, this case is this case is that. What I'm saying is you have to look at what the government is telling you and look at what the government is showing you. And then you have to start playing the game. That's all. The idea that there's a video of Pooh Shiesty holding a gun and pointing it at Gucci Mane and saying, sign this contract, has been proven to be demonstrably false. That is not on video. If it was, he would have been cooked a long time ago. But we'll see what happens as the case and the witnesses.
We have got to the point where literally.
Man, I ain't even see you come in, bro. My man just popped in out of nowhere. Shout out to his ghetto point of view, man. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to that brother too. Whatchamacallit? Hold on, wait a minute. You said what now? Let me go back to this real quick. You couldn't be a Democrat if you weren't in the yeah, I know, right? That is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. What you can prove in court. Yep, exactly. All right, let's go ahead and get it.
Well, this is the video that he played yesterday, that he recorded. Pardon me. Roll it.
Surprise, surprise. The internet has no idea what they're talking about when it comes to the Pooh Shiesty case. Case in point, let me show you the first 5 seconds of the press conference from the Department of Justice, which it sounds like they have no idea what they're talking about when they talk about the Pooh Shiesty case.
Ryan Rabel, I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday.
He just said this week, 9 individuals, including well-known music artists, kidnapped. This happened back on January 10th. Why is the internet wrong? Well, People who are saying that there's this guy on video pulling a gun on Gucci, if the feds have you on video pulling a gun on Gucci while you're on home confinement, not allowed to have a gun on January 10th, you get arrested January 11th, maybe January 12th. By February, you're cooked. By March, you're already violated and doing your time. This is April. Now,
I can't lie, as somebody who's been on papers before, that sounds about right. As somebody who's been on papers before, that sounds about right. Let's keep going.
Thing to note, I think the fact that we're in April and this came out today is telling, because quickly, but I think this case seems, we'll see. I think obviously the feds have charged kidnapping, and the reason why you charge kidnapping is because it's not larceny. The guy didn't rob the recording deal rights. You're never going to prove to a jury that Pooh Shiesty had a premeditated plan.
No. Now, hold on, Mr. Lawyer. I do have to say this. He's on papers. He's on papers. Usually, you're not supposed to get a traffic charge. What are you talking about? You violate getting a driving on suspended. You violate for having bad tags. Especially when you're out on he's out on a violent felony. They don't play with that. They don't. I don't care what state you in, red or blue, north or south, east or west. They don't play with that. When you have a violent felony and they give you a chance and the parole board lets you out, bruh, people ain't playing with you. Let's keep on going. And listen, mind you, he only been out about 6 months.
To fly out to Dallas, and then he's going to pull a gun on Gucci and get Gucci to sign away the contract rights. That's ridiculous.
He shouldn't be involved in any crime at all. The judge will bring that up. Like he's had some back and forths with what's his name? With Turk. But I would say, I guess maybe I haven't looked too deep into it now. I don't know, maybe it might be something, but from what I know, BG, right? Since BG been out, that man been trying to play he been trying to play his cards right. When he first got out, does anybody remember? He was talking about how, because I keep up with them, I remember No Limit Hot Boys. I come from that. So, that's one of my legends right there. So when he got out, man, I remember him talking about, I think he was staying at some halfway house in like Arizona or something like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. But he made sure he got his permission. If they said he couldn't go here to perform, he didn't go perform. A lot of his earlier videos, they was done with like green screen and like, like just his crib type shit. He couldn't go nowhere. A lot of his videos was real kind of low budget, and that's only because he couldn't move around and do it, location and everything else, how they usually do. And he's still kicking and ticking. BG been out for a couple years now. Let's go.
Okay, there was a lot of people in the room. Apparently, there was some violence in that.
It does seem odd that it would take until exactly. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, it is an interesting twist to the case. This ain't to say, remember, just like with Slim Thug. I mean, I keep calling him Slim Thug, bro. Young Thug, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of twists and turns that came with that case, and I think this is going to be another one of them, for real, for real. I think Pooh about to be the next Young Thug. He about to be the next YMW Melly. No bull. It's about to be one of them big ass cases that all of the hip hop bloggers are going to be on for like the next year and a half or two. No bull. But yeah. Hold on. So it does seem odd. Until April had a monitor, but let's see what they can prove. Yeah, exactly. The people at Law and Crime was alleging him and his dad to Staples to print out contract they allegedly forced Gucci to sign. And the car his dad rented was both at Staples and the studio. It's gonna be a man. Listen, them lawyers got it. Listen, I think he need to see if he can get Dirk lawyer, because you know Dirk got Young Thug's lawyer, the white boy that got him off. I forgot it. I forgot cuz name. I don't keep up with it like that. But the dude that Young Thug had, the white boy, Brian, I think named Brian something or whatever. That's who Dirk got now. I think Pooh need to go ahead and get Brian after this.
That room, because the most injuries that we've heard of is some guy got like choked and there was some abrasions on his neck. Okay, so something happened. But then like beyond that, the feds haven't really put anything. Chill out, bro. There's so many ways to defend a case like this. One of the things that I'd be looking out for is what everybody has to say, because if there's no video footage of what happened in the room and there's 6 people in a room, then it's going to be very interesting to see what the 6 people in the room have to say.
So y'all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the hood lawyer and dare any lawyer to.
I told y'all that's what he do. Said he's the hood lawyer. Apparently, that's he done switched from gangbang crip to now he hood lawyer. I love it though. You know what I'm saying? Elevate, brother.
Say that I'm wrong with this and use court lingo, court jargon, and all this shit because y'all watch me as well. Let's get on with this shit. This is the reason why they use 1201A and 1201C.
Okay, great.
1 second. Let's get back to it. My bad, y'all. Bow.
Sentences vary significantly based on the specific statute violated and whether a firearm was used. On average, individuals convicted of a federal robbery with a firearm enhancement receive a sentence of 162 months, 13.5 years in recent years. Statutory maximums, mandatory minimums. The statutory limits are the.
Now, listen. We got to remember when we're looking at stuff like this, some people that's not that hip. They actually think that this means everywhere. This is for the Texas. This is for where he's at. And maybe even just Dallas itself. I think he was in, or Houston, whichever one. That ain't everywhere, bro. But let's keep on going.
Primary framework for sentencing. So if we got bank robbery, we're going to knock that out and say no. Hobbs Act robbery covers robberies affecting interstate commerce, retail stores. We're not doing that one. But firearm enhancement. Using a firearm during a crime of violence triggers a mandatory or the mandatory minimums that must be served consecutively. That's on top of the robbery sentence. 5 years for possession.
For those who not hip, when he's talking about consecutively, that means that if you get sentenced to 10 and you get sentenced to another 10, you have to do 20 years. You're going to do 10 years, then you got to start all over in there and do another 10 years. If it runs concurrent and you get sentenced to 10, you get sentenced to 10, they're going to combine them together and they both going to run concurrent and you're doing it at the same time, which means you can go ahead and just do your 10-year sentence. You don't ever want to hear, my point is you never want to hear consecutive. When you hear consecutive, that's a whole nother monster. That's that day for day shit.
Possession or carrying, and then 7 years for brandishing or displaying pointing a weapon. Right there alone, that's 13 years. He didn't discharge anything, and the 25 years for a second or a subsequent conviction. We ain't even needing all that. So sentencing guideline factors, the judge uses the sentencing guidelines to determine the actual range based on a point system. So the base offense level for robbery starts at 20, but we'll leave that for the details for the lawyers to bang out. But I wanted to point that out before we go any further. Get paid real quick. That's $5, right? So y'all know I don't disappoint because they didn't charge them for what they should have charged them with. And that's why the second superseding indictment is going to be crazy. Roll it. So I want to go to this right here. 18 USC 1201A and C, kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. And this is going to be important because I want y'all to look at the sentencing that comes with that. Federal armed robbery sentences vary significantly based on the specific statute violated and whether a firearm was used. On average, individuals convicted of a federal robbery with a firearm enhancement receive a sentence of 162 months, 13.5 years in recent years. Statutory maximums, mandatory minimums. The statutory limits are the primary framework for sentencing. So if we got bank robbery, we're going to knock that out and say no. Hobbs Act robbery covers robberies affecting interstate commerce, retail stores. We're not doing that one. But firearm enhancement. Using a firearm during a crime of violence triggers a mandatory or the mandatory minimums that must be served consecutively. That's on top of the robbery sentence. 5 years for possession or carrying, and then 7 years for brandishing or displaying pointing a weapon. Right there alone, that's 13 years. He didn't discharge anything, and the 25 years for a second or a subsequent conviction. We ain't even needing all that. So sentencing guideline factors, the judge uses the sentencing guidelines to determine the actual range based on a point system. So the base offense level for robbery starts at 20, but we'll leave that for the details for the lawyers to bang out. But I wanted to point that out before we go any further. The hard part that the feds just fought themselves on is they said once Big 30 stood there by the door, that was the abduction part. The abduction part wasn't the firearm being pointed at no damn at no damn Gucci Mane. That was forced to sign over. Why are there no robbery charges? That's armed robbery, firearm robbery. Because that means that Pusaisti possibly can get 10 years. Oh, Nash, you're right. You're not getting no license unless somebody got killed. Nobody got killed. So expect the second superseding indictment to include armed robbery, to include the commerce, travel of firearms, the trafficking of firearms and all that shit, because that's what they found at the father's house. The second superseding indictment is going to add more charges and possibly 2 more people. But right now, that's what they doing. They trying to screw these cats over. Hey, lawyer for workers, tell the people that you can't, because this ain't injury law. Sorry, you in my realm, bro. No, Seti Nash ain't a practicing attorney or none of this shit. But I got a whole lot of them too. And what do? We created a coterie of lawyers. And I get to sit at the table. Don't ever diss me again, bro. Because if I take it there with you, we can debate it out and you ain't gonna win nothing. The feds did this so that they can make sure to stick in that life sentence. And even you'd agree. That's why the feds put the stalking charge on Lil Durk, because they know Lil Durk is going to beat the murder for hire. So how does that work for you to say Lil Durk is going to do this and do that? But you agree with all my points about Lil Durk. It's kind of funny, huh? The tree that feeds you is now the tree you want to cut down.
Interesting. That's primarily what I did want to show for that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to primarily kind of like show like, so there obviously is, I guess, some developing news in this. They're saying that Gucci didn't snitch on him. But just as much as I was saying yesterday on a panel, I was speaking about how at what point, because I'm curious, right? If Gucci is now a businessman and he's now just doing his thing, right? As somebody who's out of the game, at what point are you allowed to be a citizen? Now, we all know, for example, old school terms like blood in, blood out. We all know what that means, right? You come in the blood and you don't leave until your blood is spilled. Got you. But like, considering all rules have gone out the window, you know how many gang members are still around and everybody know he snitched, right? There's no more codes for the women and children. So again, I'm wondering at what point are you allowed to just simply say, look, I'm done with this. I'm a grown ass man. I got too much to lose. You know how much is, like, for example, him not reporting that. First of all, a lot of stuff was on camera anyway. So it didn't matter. Not to mention them white boys was there. Even if Gucci didn't say nothing, like, come on, man. And then you got to think, how dumb would that be? He gonna sit up in there in the interrogation room with the police, say, I ain't see nothing. You were in the room. Your buddies told us already what you were saying and what they said, what happened, who did this, who moved over there. What do you mean you didn't see? So that just won't work. The fact is that just won't work. All it does is just put you in a worse position. Now, there are a lot of people who will say, well, you know what you signed up for. There's a certain degree of that I definitely agree with. It is a certain amount of that. That's what you signed up for as far as that lifestyle. That's why prevention is better than the cure. That's why it's better not to get in those positions, so you don't have to try to figure out how to get out of those positions. But the ironic part is that you should always still, regardless, be prepared for those situations. You should still, regardless, make sure that you know what I'm saying, are prepped. But you should still also, more than being prepped, you should make sure that step one should be making sure that you prevent yourself from getting there. Step two should be your prep and prevention. That's how that should go, at least in my view. That's how I see that, right? Recapping on what it is we've been talking about for today. So, I mean, really leaving the plantation. How do you guys really see that, leaving the plantation? And what is leaving the plantation? Leaving the plantation means that when you decide to just basically think for yourself individually. If you didn't catch the videos that I was playing, just make sure that you go ahead and hit that replay. You smell me now? Much respect to the family. Because y'all already know. I don't know. I had something funny coming to my head. Don't even mind me. But with that being said,
I digress. My mic is muted.
Welcome to the lighthouse. Storm all around. I'm standing right now, sent from the cloud. They talking mine now, but I'm just fighting for my blood and my life. Yeah. Sent from the heaven, king on seven, trials on trials, still count blessings. Wait on the revelating, heart been heavy. I stay patient, I'm beyond the angels. I am mad, I bleed, I'm tangled. Sword on my back, axe on the strap. Go with the weight of the word in my lap. Touching my king, we doubling back. Pray with my palm, but I'm ready for that. Long South County king in that greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my acre, you can keep your Grammy. Built this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is great and the DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Long South County king, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the lighthouse foundation. Still waiting on revelation. Till then I'm in rotation. Heard of my chases, but I'm chasing. Turn my scars into statements. I don't need to stage a camera. I need these papers, hand and hammer. Still in my spine, still in my hands. Guarding my bloodline, holding this land. They can test, they can try, they can hate me. I've been forging a fire that will make me PG raised. Lone Star in my vein. DMV on the map, say the name. Lone Star County Kings, that's greatness. Stand tall, whole county on the wait list. I just want my acres, you can keep your Grammy. Built this from the gravel for my whole family. PG is greatness, DMV ain't faking. If I said I'm the one, no, I wasn't mistaken. Those are Cootie Cats, yeah, we blazing. Welcome to the lighthouse foundation.
I'm a fallen angel from sky. Up above, I'm that man that think it's a thug. I'm your drug and your plug. Wings tucked, I seen pain, seen blessings, seen luck. Ran over by train, that's about 8 trucks. Smitty really gritty, but never I'm no slut to the money and fame. You can keep your chain, we free men over here. And in case you didn't know, my favorite color is here. Yes, I'm here, not fresh to death, no stress, no words. All burdens, I done buried, closed coffin. I'm the beauty of the beast, and a man I found often. I'm the cure to infection. My reflection is broken down in sections. Retired chef outside, still cooking. I be rocking with best. Thank you, good looking. Y'all must be lunching on mothers. If you not from my section, then you cool, but not a brother. Lone Star, the astronaut from above. You looking for a fix? I'm your brand new blood. Shotgun slug, flood of the love spreads. Truck by train, made it out by thread. Shoulda be dead, but rose from darkness and a walking with an oath. I'm not the goat, I'm shepherd. Blending into the world tree, hiding a leaper. Mr. 7, I'm ghost in flesh.
Energy is mistaken for frustration, but really I'm a guy who sat back with observation and patience. Some of our thinking is outdated. Thank you for stopping by to say hi. Thank you, come imagine. And while you're gone, tell a friend to tell a friend, Smitty. Yes, we heard you, now go and smash the like button like a burger. Information I recruited, I got breasts, my mic is muted. Mr. 7, I'm ghost. I got breasts, my mic is muted. Mr. 7, I'm ghost.
My mic is muted. My mic is muted.